Continuing from the previous episode 125. The milky white flame column collided heavily with the energy light. When the energy light moved nearly 10 meters away, the freezing power of a milky white flame spread rapidly and then froze it. The strange fire has the characteristics of extremely deep cold and hot bone spirit cold fire. Frozen. The flying figure dashed past. Xiaoyan's toes tapped on the light that turned into ice. A dark energy passed from the toes, and suddenly, the energy light burst with a bang. In the midst of the icy storm, Xiaoyan's body rushed out of the hole in the flame wall like lightning, and then suddenly stopped and descended, quietly looking at the woman in blue who suddenly stopped flying. After Xiaoyan stopped and looked at the woman opposite, milky white flames were constantly spitting out between the former's palms. Staring at the woman in Xingyi, Xiaoyan muttered to himself, "Why didn't she run away?" After thinking to no avail, Xiaoyan shook his head. His eyes did not move on the woman in Xingyi. He was silent for a while, and said, "Your strength is indeed much stronger than mine, and it may be difficult for me to keep you alone. But it's a pity, you are now within the energy barrier that I have set up. And I can feel that you don't seem to be good at fighting. Hand over Qing Yuan, I also don't want to conflict with you." Xiaoyan said solemnly, "That can't be done. I came to the lower realm to find what I left behind. I have been searching for decades, and now I am lucky enough to meet you, not to mention the strength of your 3-star Do Emperor's peak, even if you are a 5-star Do Emperor powerhouse. I will never let go." The woman in Xingyi shook her head with a smile, and there was no negotiable tone in her tone. Xinyan 81 Zhang Weian Wang U, Kai 8.1 ZS, Coem. However, the cyan figure is also surprised. The flame on the man in front of him is obviously a special flame, and the terrifying high temperature has some other powers. Also, the young man in front of him can actually find that he is not good at fighting. Found during the attack. What about adding someone? Looking at the woman in Xingyi with a gloomy face, Xiaoyan's patience was gradually exhausted, and he did not delay. With a low voice, a huge soul force also emerged from the soul realm, and then condensed into a breath that was exactly the same as Xiaoyan's. The figure appeared out of thin air. The two joined forces to prepare to launch a fierce attack again. It's actually an Emperor-level mortal-level soul clone. It's really amazing. The cyan figure was also looking at the identical two people in front of him and said slowly. With her strength at the peak of the 5-star Do Emperor, it is natural to recognize Xiaoyan's method, and if it weren't for some special reasons of her own, it would not be so difficult to deal with a boy of a 3-star Do Emperor. Although I'm not good at fighting, with the two of you alone, even if you fight head-on, you won't necessarily be able to defeat me," the woman in Xingyi said with a somewhat arrogant smile. "Then give it a try." Xiaoyan replied with a sneer. "There are still many secrets in Qing Yuan, who can be praised by his master Jinlong King, who has always been high-minded and low-handed. This purple-winged angel is definitely not simple, so until he finds a suitable place for Qing Yuan, he will definitely not take it away from others." This is the first time Xiaoyan has used it since he learned about the mortal avatar of the Emperor realm, which is enough to show the importance he attaches to Qing Yuan. Xiaoyan was dressed in black, and his soul avatar was dressed in white, which formed a clear contrast with Xiaoyan himself. Between the palms of the two, milky white flames slowly surrounded them, and the flames burned more and more fiercely. Two big men bully the young with more, but I will no longer fight with one and two. Shaking his head regretfully, a pair of pure white wings behind the woman in Xingyi also slowly appeared in Xiaoyan's line of sight. Inside. Boom boom boom. After the pure white wings appeared, the cyan figure's pupils also shrank tightly, and then Xiaoyan felt a slightly sharp soul force. Although it was not strong, the soul force contained a strange wave, rising from the sky. Spread out. Boom. The terrifying soul impact also made the two Xiaoyan have to use their soul power to defend. Not long after the wave of the soul came out, the edge of the energy barrier in the distance suddenly echoed the same sound, and then a huge beast nearly 10 feet, soared into the sky, and then flew towards the sky here. Then, a huge shadow shrouded the ground of the small woods downstream of the waterfall. The giant beast is extremely slender and looks like a horse, but it has a single horn on its forehead, and its 3 pairs of white wings are quite conspicuous. But the flying speed of this monster is so fast that some people are shocked. I saw that the huge wings twisted and swung, and it turned out to be like a teleportation. After a few flashes, it was not far from the woman in Xing Yi place. As the giant beast approached, its full picture was completely captured by Xiao Yan. Suddenly, he couldn't help taking a breath of cold air. A three-winged unicorn. It is said that the unicorn has 9 wings at the highest, and its strength is comparable to that of a human being, but it is quite difficult for you to deal with this unicorn in front of you, Xiao Yanzi. The voice of the Golden Dragon King also appeared slowly. Huh? Just when the voice of the Golden Dragon King appeared in Xiao Yan's body, the three-winged unicorn that flew over also raised its arrogant head to look at Xiao Yan and said, "Why do you have a familiar aura?" I also feel the same link to www.novelmtl.com. I don't know if it's an illusion. Okay, don't worry about it for now, you stop him, I'll take this girl away first. The blue figure also said. Are you sure? The three-winged unicorn also looked at Qing Yuan in the blue figure's arms and said slowly. Well, purple. Let's go. Let's go. You know it's me who does the dirty work. The three-winged unicorn also snorted. Hearing the words, the cyan figure also skyrocketed in speed, roaring away towards the edge of the energy barrier with Qing Yuan. Stop. Seeing this, Xiao Yan also immediately launched 3,000 thunderbolts, trying to catch up with the cyan figure. Your opponent is me. A terrifying hurricane of energy attacked Xiao Yan with a voice. Damn it. Xiao Yan also had to be distracted to fight against the three-winged unicorn. After carefully feeling the strength of the three-winged unicorn, the two Xiao Yan also frowned. These three-winged unicorns are actually strong human beings that are comparable to the peak of the 4-star Do Di. This has to make Xiao Yan pay attention, and then the soul clone is also put away. At this time, the number is not an advantage, and if something happens to the soul clone, Xiao Yan can't see the damage to the source. But if you want to catch up with the cyan figure, you have to defeat the three-winged unicorn first. It's troublesome. Xiao Yan's face suddenly became extremely gloomy, sensing this terrifying momentum. End of this chapter, continuing from the previous episode 126. At this time, Qing Yuan, who had been in a coma, also slowly woke up. Then the mysterious woman in Xing Yi gently flicked Qing Yuan's forehead with her slender hand, who was constantly struggling in her arms. Suddenly, Qing Yuan, who had just woken up, was in a coma. Strange to say, just when Qing Yuan woke up, a piece of purple feathers fell off the purple wings behind him and flew towards Xiao Yan, and the cyan woman didn't notice either. Seeing this, Xiao Yan also hurriedly stretched out his hand to catch it. Although he didn't know what the purple feather was for, of course Qing Yuan must have done it her own way. The three-winged unicorn also looked at Xiao Yan quietly, as if disdainful. Gu. Hey, little guy, don't worry. I can't bear to hurt you. Gently stroking the coquettish purple wings on Qing Yuan's back, the woman in Xing Yi smiled docilely and softly as if she was treating her daughter, and gently held her in her arms with her left hand. Only then did he raise his head, staring at Xiao Yan, who had a vicious gaze, and said with a smile, Don't worry, little human brother, this girl is very precious, and we can't bear to hurt her. Who is your excellency? Why did you *** Qing Yuan? Xiao Yan stared at the woman in Xing Yi, his eyes narrowed, and he said coldly, although he didn't know who these people were, Xiao Yan was certain that he would definitely be inseparable from the angel family. Related. Is this little guy's name Qing Yuan? Haha, it's really not bad. The woman in Xing Yi smiled, her slender fingers carefully lifting Qing Yuan's bangs. Looking closely at the mysterious rune on the forehead, the rune was also blooming with a coquettish purple, and then nodded with satisfaction, and whispered softly, It really is the purple wing. It seems that our luck this time. Good. The action of the woman in Xing Yi lifted Qing Yuan's bangs, causing Xiao Yan's mouth to twitch a few times, and now he also understands that this mysterious woman is also aimed at the purple wings of Qing Yuan's angel family. After the woman in Xing Yi appeared, his master, the Golden Dragon King, had been silent for a long time, thinking that he was worried that if he contacted Xiao Yan again, his existence would be detected. Xiao Yan, who knew this, did not ask in his heart. The identity of the opponent. Why did the aura you burst out earlier make me feel familiar? Could it be that we have not been in contact before? The woman in Xing Yi suddenly raised her head and stared at Xiao Yan, her brows slightly frowned, and she asked with a little doubt. Really? A non-committal answer. Xiao Yan said coldly, "No matter who your excellency is, please return Qing Yuan to me, otherwise, I can only asterisk it by force. Hey, this little girl is extremely important to me, and it's impossible to give it to you." The woman in Xing Yi smiled and shook her head. His eyes drifted over Xiao Yan, and he said with a light smile, "I'll go first." "Stop." Hearing the words of the woman in Xing Yi, Xiao Yan no longer hesitated. With a low drink, a terrifying milky white flame violently surged out of his body. Suddenly, the temperature downstream of the waterfall suddenly increased. The toes slammed on the top of the tree, and suddenly, cracks spread rapidly from the toes. In the end, it spread all the way to the surface, and the huge trees became fragmented in an instant. With the power of ejection, Xiao Yan's body, like the bullet that came out of the chamber, it shot violently at the woman in Xing Yi who was just about to escape. The figure flashed across the air, Xiao Yan's fist wrapped in milky white flames, mixed with a sonic boom and fiery heat, slammed into the woman in Xing Yi. After the woman in green pondered for a moment, she stomped the soles of her feet. With the sound of clicking, the trees underfoot exploded violently. At the same time, the clean white wings on the back of the woman in Xing Yi slowly expanded, and 10 clean white energy whips shot out from the wings behind her. The long whip fluttered around, wrapping his entire body in it, and Xiao Yan's terrifying attack was easily resolved, and he was also ejected away. "Your opponent is me." The 3-winged unicorn standing beside him slowly flapped the 3 pairs of pure white wings behind it, and then the beast's eyes stared at Xiao Yan. Watching the cyan figure slowly escape with Qing Yuan, Xiao Yan's knees were slightly bent, and his body was in the shape of a bow. After an instant, it suddenly rose, and lightning appeared above the head of the woman in blue at the edge of the energy barrier. The body tumbled in the air, and after the instep turned violently to borrow strength, with a whistling sound of breaking the wind, it slammed heavily on the shoulder of the woman in Xing Yi. Bang! As soon as he hit the enemy, Xiao Yan's face did not show the slightest joy, because it was in his perception. What he hit didn't seem to be a human body, but a fluffy feather. Moreover, the feathers even reflected some of his bursting energy back, making Xiao Yan's figure slightly unstable. "Gana, don't patronize the show. Stop him so I can take the little girl to go first, otherwise I will attract the strong men next to the demonic beast mountains. If this mission fails, the consequences." Xiao Yan smashed it. In the middle, the woman in Xing Yi said with a slight dissatisfaction, and then fiercely said to the 3-winged unicorn standing in the same place as if watching a play, "I know, I link to know www.novelmtl.com. The woman is really long-winded." The 3-winged unicorn also said impatiently. Obviously, the 3-winged unicorn did not take Xiao Yan seriously. After all, the latter is just as a strength of the peak of the 3-star fighting emperor is really not worth mentioning. After speaking, the wings on the back of the 3-winged unicorn flapped slowly, and then, on top of that, an invisible wave of terror emerged spontaneously. A pair of feathers were raised gently, and a majestic white energy column aimed at Xiao Yan's chest and sprayed out. With his arms crossed in front of his chest, milky white flames suddenly rose up, resisting the energy column as much as possible. Although the opponent's attack did not cause much damage to Xiao Yan, it is possible that the strength contained in the measuring column still pushed Xiao Yan back a bit. Hey, farewell, but little brother can rest assured, this little girl, I will not hurt her. And this little girl has also been taken care of by you all these years. Gana, don't hurt him. The woman in Xing Yi said with a smile, the wings on her back slowly stretched out, and then swept away towards the sky outside the energy barrier. After the cyan figure finished speaking, it flew away from the edge of the energy barrier, and the huge 3-winged unicorn also slowly looked at Xiao Yan. Damn it! Xiao Yan also yelled. This cyan figure was really cunning, and immediately had to face the 3-winged unicorn in front of him solemnly. Human boy, since you are the little girl's brother, I should respect you, but you are not qualified now. You can stay here for a few minutes at ease, and I will naturally wait for the woman to go away. I won't make it difficult for you, but if you insist on chasing it, then I will. The 3-winged unicorn slowly stared at Xiao Yan, and said in the mouth. Set a small goal first, such as 1 second to remember. Shukju mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 127. Want to leave? Leave the person behind. Seeing the woman in green swept away toward the edge of the energy barrier, Xiao Yan's face sank. 3,000 thunderbolts shot out, and her figure burst out. Because Xiao Yan also knew that as long as they were still in the energy barrier, they would still be able to sense the aura of the cyan figure, but once the cyan woman stepped out of the energy barrier, if Xiao Yan was looking for it, it would be like looking for a needle in a haystack. He, your opponent is me. Seeing Xiao Yan, who wanted to fly past him, the three-winged unicorn smiled, its three wings vibrated in unison, and its huge body instantly appeared in Xiao Yan's flight. On the way, the tail of the beast slammed violently, and the terrifying power contained on it turned out to make the space feel a little twisted and broken. Aware of the horror of the power of the animal's tail, Xiao Yan's expression changed slightly. He did not dare to take it hard. His body quickly twisted, and he dodged it away, but although he avoided the attack, the purpose of his pursuit was blocked. Down. Damn it! Xiao Yan cursed in a low voice, but he had to give up tracking the cyan woman, and his body was dodging the three-winged unicorn's successive attacks. The wind howled, and terrifying flames were projected into it. In an instant, a white tornado covered with terrifying high temperature appeared out of thin air in the sky. With his own strength, he built such a fierce flame storm. Even with Xiao Yan's strength, a little cold sweat could not help but appear on his forehead. Xinya 81 Zhang Weian Wang U. Kai 8.1 ZS. Koem, get away from me. With a low voice, looking at the three-winged unicorn that quickly retreated to the side, Xiao Yan waved his sleeve robe, and the huge flame storm, with a sharp wind-breaking sound, whistled towards the three-winged unicorn. The horned beast swept away. Hey, the momentum is not bad, but I am a 4-star fighting emperor. How can you fight me with your 3-star strength? Ha! Looking at the storm of flames, the three-winged unicorn laughed loudly, and his pure white wings swayed gently, and black flames suddenly burst out from his body, and then continuously sent out. Finally, above its head, it condensed into a black tornado of the same size. After doing all this, the tail of the three-winged unicorn slammed violently, and the huge storm that was completely condensed by the strange black flames shot out violently, mixed with an almost terrifying energy, ruthlessly. Hit the white flame storm. The white storm and the black storm collided fiercely, and terrifying energy fluctuations were slowly brewing. At the moment when the two collided, the place where the two touched the ground seemed to be split open by the shock of tiny black cracks. Bang! The two terrifying energies, one white and one black, were deadlocked with each other for a while, and they exploded above the sky. The violent explosion of energy could still be faintly heard even at a distance of a kilometer. At the moment when the two white and black flames exploded, a circle of energy ripples spread from the place where they exploded, causing Xiao Yan and the three-winged unicorn to retreat rapidly at the same time. Haha, the human boy is really interesting. No wonder he was able to stop that woman for so long, so he has some self-confidence. Looking at Xiao Yan, whose face was covered in cold sweat, the three-winged unicorn laughed loudly. The flame divides the wave ruler. The three-winged unicorn's laughter has not yet completely fallen, but the huge beast's pupil shrank suddenly, and the white scales all over its body suddenly contracted strangely. Before the three-winged unicorn could make a move, Xiao Yan's shout had just fallen, and the ancient ruler of eternal fire in his hand was also raised slowly, slashing viciously towards the giant beast in front of him. The milky white flame above the eternal fire eternal ancient ruler carried the sky-high light and roared away. The three-winged unicorn also seemed to know Xiao Yan's method, and then the 3 pairs of wings on the back quickly waved, and the seemingly terrifying flame was dissolved out of thin air. The three-winged unicorn was impressively waving its wings on its back to control the airflow, causing Xiao Yan's terrifying flames to move away slightly, thus deflecting Xiao Yan's attack. Although Xiao Yan's attack was deflected subtly, pieces of pale white feathers fell off from the wings on its back, and then quickly wrapped the huge body of the three-winged unicorn in it. Seeing this, Xiao Yan didn't care about the 3721, and the 3,000 thunderbolts were exerted to the extreme. At the waist of the huge body of the three-winged unicorn, Xiao Yan's figure suddenly flashed out, the fist covered with milky white flames, suddenly held tight. On top of the sturdy fist, there was not only a terrifying high temperature, but also a vicious wind energy mixed with it. Like a thunderbolt, it smashed down fiercely. At this moment, the arm under Xiao Yan's wide black sleeve robe seems to have become as tough as steel. Bang! The fist slammed heavily on the body of the three-winged unicorn, but Xiao Yan's face became extremely ugly, because in his perception, the body of the three-winged unicorn, because it was wrapped by the feather, suddenly became like a soft cotton jacket, and the fist smashed it, but in the end it actually stuck to the feather on the surface of its body and bounced out. However, although most of the attacks were unsuccessful, there was still a small part of it that hit the body of the three-winged unicorn. It was the small part of the feather that let the punch fall, curled up. Hey, your flame is a bit strange, but it's just missing something. Otherwise it will be a match for the legendary Holy Flame. Looking at Xiao Yan with interest, he was immediately attacked by Xiao Yan's fist containing terrifying flames. The slightest pain from his body caused the huge body with 3 wings and 1 horn to shrunk violently. It smashed on Xiao Yan's back, and suddenly, it was smashed like a ball and flew out. Peeved, the huge force on his back caused Xiao Yan to spit out a small mouthful of blood, and hurriedly turned his body into flames before he stabilized his staggering figure. Damn, this monster is so difficult to deal with. Xiao Yan also muttered to himself. Moreover, the 3-winged unicorn obviously did not intend to take action against Xiao Yan, and was always on the defensive, as if everything it did was just to delay time. During the time it delayed, the Cyan woman also brought Qing Yuan early disappeared in the energy barrier. Looking at the huge monster like a tree in the sky in front of him, Xiao Yan had to stand up solemnly. The milky white flame is useless against it, and the flame-splitting wave ruler is also useless. It is estimated that even the more powerful 7th-layer sky-breaking ruler can achieve very little effect. Seeing the milky white flames beating constantly on his body, and there seemed to be many colors in the milky white flames, Xiao Yan had a bold idea in his heart. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 128. This almost crazy thought made Xiao Yan shiver involuntarily, but no matter how he suppressed it, the thought still lingered in his heart. Under the ineffectiveness of such expulsion, Xiao Yan unconsciously became fascinated by this idea, and muttered in his heart, since he was promoted to Do Emperor, he has never done this. On the opposite side, the 3-winged unicorn shakes its huge tail slightly. Every time the giant tail swings, it will create a strong wind in the sky. What a terrifying force. Hee hee. Did you finally give up? The 3-winged unicorn's huge pupils glanced at Xiao Yan, who was silent across from him, and couldn't help laughing. It's better to give up, it will save you wasting energy. With a smile, the 3-winged unicorn raised its arrogant head slightly and turned its head slightly, staring at the distant sky, and muttered in a low voice, "That woman, it must be, have you reached a safe place? My interception mission should end." Then he turned his head to look at Xiao Yan, and in the sound of laughter, there was some arrogant sarcasm. "You human boy is not bad among the human beings I have seen, and you will surpass me one day if you practice hard, but now if so." After speaking, the giant tail of the 3-winged unicorn swayed slightly, its eyes fixed on Xiao Yan's every move, and its body slowly moved back. Obviously, cautiously, it was already looking for a way out. The human boy is the little girl's brother. If he shoots at him, when he goes back, the little girl will definitely not be able to eat and walk away when he finds out. Xiao Yan's eyes were fixed on the 3-winged unicorn that was gradually retreating. Xiao Yan's struggling thoughts finally settled down, his hands slowly stretched out, his slender and fair palms, like a woman, did not seem to have any force. "Hey, why, still won't give up? Although you have a strange flame, but looking at the flame, it is obviously missing something important, so it seems that you can't exert its power at all now." When Xiao Yan moved, the moving body of the 3-winged unicorn stopped immediately, its pupils stared at Xiao Yan, and sneered a little impatiently. Hearing the words of the 3-winged unicorn, Xiao Yan also frowned. Obviously, the eyes of the 3-winged unicorn are also vicious. Since he came to Duty Continent, his strange fire seems to be missing something. There is no such thing at all. It is very handy to use in Do Chi Continent. Then he hesitated for a while, his hands turned to the sky, placed flat in front of him, slightly silent, and above his left hand, milky white flames roared out. The scorching temperature burned the space in front of it slightly distorted and illusory. Xinya 81 Zhang Wian Wang U. Kai 8.1 ZS. Koem the left hand tightened slightly, the gloomy milky white flame quietly churned, releasing a fierce energy. The huge three-winged unicorn stared at Xiao Yan mockingly with its pupils turned slightly, without the slightest nervousness. Although the flame had a certain restraint effect on him, for some reason, the human boy in front of him did not seem to be able to. It stimulates all the power that belongs to it, so the three-winged unicorn is not very afraid. The ridicule in the pupils of the beast existed for a moment. On the left hand of Deng Xiaoyan, the milky white flame suddenly disintegrated into multiple flames and appeared in front of him. A very humane appearance appeared in the beast's pupil. 22 flames? Damn, asterisk it. How is it possible? How can you have so many sources of flame in your body? Feeling the 22 flames in front of you, the three-winged unicorn's beast pupils were sluggish. In an instant, as if being stepped on the tail, the huge body bowed, and the sharp voice resounded in the sky in annoyance. Because with the eyesight of a three-winged unicorn, it was naturally felt when the original milky white flame in front of Xiao Yan decomposed into 22 kinds of flames. The 22 kinds of flames decomposed by milky white flames, each flame has a completely different source power. It's unbelievable, you little human fellow. How can you have so many flames from heaven and earth? The three-winged unicorn is also well informed, feeling the terrifying high temperature of Xiao Yan's flames, and every flame the power contained in them is also different, but these flames are much weaker than the holy flames, so it boils down to the mysterious flames born between heaven and earth. The three-winged unicorn stared at the space in front of Xiao Yan, and took a deep breath of cold air. His heart felt as if the river was overturned. With his knowledge, he had never heard of anyone who could have so many flames from heaven and earth at the same time. You must know that even if it is not as good as the holy flame, the mysterious flames born between heaven and earth are domineering and extremely destructive. The two flames are as incompatible as old enemies. If the two flames exist in one person at the same time within the body, it is estimated that there can only be one ending. That is two extremely unstable bombs colliding with each other, and the final outcome, naturally, in the splendid explosion, destroy each other. And the young man in front of him has 22 kinds in his body. The three-winged unicorn doesn't know why Xiao Yan can have so many flames at the same time, but he clearly feels that at the moment when these flames appeared, the human boy in front of him and the flames were originally docile energy. Factor suddenly became a lot more irritable. Opposite Xiao Yan, the three-winged unicorn was still yelling angrily. Obviously, Xiao Yan was able to have so many realities at the same time, which made him a lot of blows. Ignoring the three-winged unicorn that jumped around like a loach, Xiao Yan stared at the 22 different colored fires in front of him. The corners of his mouth twitched slightly. After a while, he bit his teeth, and the terrifying soul power emerged. Then he carried 22 violent sources of strange fire in his hands, and slowly moved closer to the middle. Fuck, lunatic, lunatic. This guy is absolutely crazy. Looking at Xiao Yan's move in horror, the three-winged unicorn cursed loudly. After scolding, the three-winged unicorn retreated for a distance, and then looked at Xiao Yan from a distance. Obviously, the three-winged unicorn felt a wave that could destroy him. Xiao Yan didn't have any hesitation. The three-winged unicorn in front of him was obviously the same group as the previous woman. If he could capture this three-winged unicorn, he would definitely be able to ask Qing Yuan's whereabouts, so he didn't hesitate. In his crazy thoughts, since he created the different fire fusion fighting skills when he was in the Btth2 continent, he has not been fused since his master Tuo Shi Gudi. After all, Xiao Yi or Xiao Yan used the Buddha's Fury Fire Lotus, which was fused with 22 kinds of flames. Although the power is equally huge, which of the fusion flames were swallowed and refined by Xiao Yan? Factor, a little more tame, so the power is much smaller. The fusion of the former is the power of the different fire after being domesticated by Xiao Yan, and the fusion of the power of the source of the different fire is two completely different concepts. The former is the Buddha's wrathful fire lotus transformed by the fusion of gentle flames, while the latter is the fusion of the origin of different fires, which was the fusion of terrifying and violent factors at the beginning of its birth. Ask for a ticket. End of this chapter, continuing from the previous episode 129. Ever since the battle with Soul Heaven Emperor on Btth2 continent, Xiao Yan has never tried to fuse the 22 kinds of different fire origin powers in his body. Even before this, Xiaoyan had only tried the 7-color fire lotus, and Xiaoyan had never tried the fusion of the origin of all the different fires on the Btth continent. If it comes out of fusion, then even a 4-star Btth powerhouse can become a powerful killer. With such a nervous murmur in his heart, Xiaoyan's hands trembled, and then he looked at the many familiar flames in front of him. It's been a long time, my friends. Xiaoyan also greeted the 22 flames in front of him with a smile, and Xiaoyan also memorized every type of flame in front of him. On the Btth continent's list of different fires, in addition to the first one that didn't exist, there were also 22 types. Ancient Emperor Tuosh himself was one of them, and he was devouring the other 22 on the list of different fires. After a strange fire, he became the first strange fire on the list, with 22 hair colors. A black flame in front of it is called Nothingness Swallowing Inflammation, ranking 2nd, color, black. This fire is born in nothingness. There is no form to be found, invisible to grasp. It is a rather strange existence. Nothingness swallows inflammation, known as the thing that swallows the sky, and the earth has the ability to devour all things. Between the heaven and the earth, only a few things can resist the ability to swallow. The milky white flame in front of it is called the Jinglian Demon Fire, ranking 3rd, color, milky white, pink when it is extremely rich, and has the special effect of purifying everything into nothingness. You can even use human emotions as a guide to enter the body, and the body and soul will be purified into nothingness. The power is terrifying. The golden flame in front of him is called Btth2, ranking 4th, color, golden. This kind of strange fire is the fire inherited from the ancient clan, and few people can subdue it. Btth2 is known as the terrifying fire that burns even fighting spirit. A creamy green flame in front of him is called the Yan of Life, ranking 5th, color, green. A liquid-like green flame, rising in the face of the storm. The green liquid fire fills the sea, and layers of mist rise up, where the mist rises. In the meantime, countless kinds of strange medicinal materials slowly grew up, filled with a moving breath of life. In front of it is a light black flame called Bawang Ruaningen, ranking 6th, color, light black, the highest level of different flames owned by the Yan clan, which has been injected with an indelible soul imprint by the controllers of the Yan clan of all dynasties. Huo Zan of the Yan clan once turned it into a pair of huge flame wings, which are really overbearing. The golden flame in front of it is called Juyu Golden Ancestral Fire, ranking 7th, color, golden, originally owned by the Juyudi Ming clan, but now owned by the Yan clan. It has merged with the volcanic stone flame to form a new type of strange fire, can compete with the Golden Emperor Fen Tianyan without falling behind. In front of him is a group of crimson flames called Red Lotus Karmic Fire, rank 8th, color, crimson, quite coquettish flames, and when the flames rise, they will form a shape of red lotus. A group of purple-black flames in front of it is called 3000 Flames of Flame. Rank 9th, color, purple-black. When it is extremely rich, it is pure black. It is also known as 3000 Stars of Flame. The fire is purple-black and takes shape. In the starry sky, it can absorb the power of the stars and continuously become stronger. Silver fires fall from the sky, and 1,000 miles of land are like deserts. Day and night do not distinguish, the stars do not appear, and the sun does not shine. There is a black flame in front of it called Juyu Fengyan, rank 10th, color, black, born in the endless abyss of the extremely yin land, where the yin wind is endless all year round, and this strange fire is formed in the wind gang. Violent place. This fire has a strange wind sound coming from it, and when this wind sound enters people's ears, it will make people feel a little bit of irritability, and this strange sound can cause emotional fluctuations in people. A group of white flames in front of it is called Bone Spirit Cold Fire. Rank 11th, color, forest white, a strange flame that combines extreme cold and extreme heat. The cold meets the extremely yin land. The silver flame in front of it is called Julong Lei Ganghuo, ranking 12th, color, silver. It has been passed down by Fengyun Valley for hundreds of years, and the powerhouses of all dynasties have branded an indelible blood soul in the source of fire. The mark, unless you have practiced Fengyun Valley's suppressing valley cultivation technique, Qingming Yuyan Ju, otherwise, even if you get the 9 Dragons Thunder Fire, it is absolutely impossible to use it for your own use. Silver flames. As the flames rise, and faintly, 9 silver fire dragons can be seen, traveling through the flames. Within the different fire, there is a condensation of dragon power, so it has the magical effect of shocking the soul. The silver flames are burning, and 9 small fire dragons shuttle around in it, as if they have spiritual wisdom, and there are some faint dragon powers that permeate from it. It makes people's soul power feel a little depressed. There is a brown flame in front of it called Tortoise Spirit Fire ranking, 13th, color, brown, shaped like a giant tortoise, covered with sharp fire thorns, and in the ferocious giant mouth, the brown strangeness full of fangs like blades flame. A group of transparent and colorless flames in front of them is called Falling Heart Flame. Ranking, number 14, color, transparent and colorless. When it is extremely rich, it is milky white. Known as a practice cheating device, it can speed up the practice. Once the fallen heart flame is successfully refined, a kind of heart fire will be continuously generated in the body, and this heart fire will be completely uncontrolled every day, every night, every day. The vindictive energy in the body is calcined every moment, and in these almost non-stop quenching, it is as if the body is in a state of cultivation all the time, and this state of cultivation, the effect is even better than the usual practice. This kind of cultivation is naturally much higher than ordinary cultivation, so it is called a cheating device. Fire is born from the heart, quenching gas and refining bones. This fire can also summon the fire of the heart, which burns people from the inside out. A dark blue flame in front of him is called Haixinyan. Ranking, number 15, color, dark blue flame. It looks extremely mysterious. The rising flame spreads out slowly like clear seawater. Ripples, like water waves. In front of him is a fiery red flame called Huiyan Shuiyan ranking, 16th, color, fiery red, shaped like a fire cloud, a magical flame with the power of water. The dark red flame in front of it is called Volcanic Stone Flame. Ranking, number 17, color, dark red. It is now owned by the Yan clan. It has merged with the 9 Serenity Golden Ancestral Fire to create a new type of special fire, which can compete with the Golden Emperor Fen Tianyan. Rather than falling behind, the green flame in front of you is called Water Flame. Rank, number 18, color, transparent green. This fire is born from water, so it has this name. It is heard that this fire can control the flow of water. The cyan flame in front of it is called Qinglian Earth Heart Fire. Ranking, number 19, color, pure cyan, dark cyan when extremely rich, born in the depths of the earth, after countless tempering, fusion, compression, carving. 10 years into a spirit, 100 years into a lotus, 1,000 years into a lotus, when it is completed, its color is blue, and the lotus heart produces a cluster of green fire, which is called Qinglian Fire, also known as Qinglian Earth Heart Fire. The power of this fire unpredictable. In the vicinity of the volcanic area, it can even cause volcanic eruptions. It forms the destructive force of nature. The treasure that coexists with this fire is the Blue Lotus link to seat www.novelmtl.com. When cultivating, you can calm down, avoid getting into the devil, and also it makes people very sensitive to the fire attribute energy between heaven and earth, and can only make jade objects, such as jade rulers, jade knives, etc., cut down from the rocks at the bottom of the volcano. Earth fire lotus seeds are the treasures produced on the Qinglian pedestal and are widely used. Only when the Qinglian Earth Heart Fire and the Azure pedestal are co-located, they will only condense 1 in 100 years. The fire lotus seeds prove that this group of Qinglian Earth Heart Fire has existed for at least 1,100 years. The golden red flame in front of him is called Jinmuyan. Ranking, 20th. It was born in the attributes of gold or wood, and has the magical effect of being able to transform gold and wood. In front of him is an orange-red flame called Green Bamboo Leaf Flame ranking, number 21. It was born in the big forest and is said to be the guardian flame of nature. The red flame in front of it is called Myriad Beast Spirit Fire ranking, number 22, color, red. It has the effect of making all beasts surrender, and it is the guardian fire of the orcs. In front of him is a dark yellow flame called Zan Wangyan ranking, 23rd, color, dark yellow, exactly the same as ordinary flames, but its power is stronger than the flames condensed with Do Qi. Xiao Yan also briefly looked at the 22 different colored flames that were lined up in front of him, then waved his hands, and many flames slowly began to touch. Xinye 81 Zhang Weian Wang U, Kai 8, approximately 1 ZS. I have sorted out the 22 different fires on the Doqi continent, so that everyone can have a little impression. The original author did not mention them, and I added some myself. End of this chapter.